Cultural Mix. We are going to be talking with the one and only Imara. Imara. But we greet you all, and we greet you with love, we greet you with honor, we greet you with respect. It has been a week that we can talk about, and some persons may not want to talk about it. So many things happening in Jamaica. But before we talk about anything, I'm going to ask you folks, as you go on the road, to be careful, to be absolutely careful. Sometimes you're driving and you're being so careful, and you have some little mad spirited people just come across your path. But I'm saying to you, as best as you can, be careful. Just coming up to Fit FM just now, as we would have passed Burwood Beach coming up. I miss it. Sometimes it's some accident, you wonder how them happen. So coming up on our left, where you take you can make a double pass there. Mister one vehicle over on your left, but the iron bar is there. I wonder how it go over, and there the wrecker was over there trying to pull it out. I don't know. It was a SUV. Me only hope everybody is okay, or if it was one person on board, that he or she is okay. But away over in the bush, the vehicle is. I don't know, folks. Something is happening. I don't know. I don't know what to bring it down to, but we ought to make that extra effort to be careful on the roads. It's very dangerous out there, and you have some mad-spirited people driving. You have some people who can only steer. So once a little difficult to reach them on the road, they don't know what to do. Sometimes you see them pass you say, but wait, I drive them, I know how to drive them, I know how to use the road. What is it? Really, really mad out there. I'm going to ask you again, people, on the roads in Jamaica, be careful, be careful, be careful. You can't be too careful, okay? Mad out a road, mad out a street. Want to say, for those people who are joining us, we want to welcome you. If you are on fitfmja.com, we welcome you. If you are on Facebook, Friends Who Love Fit FM, we welcome you. We welcome everyone who is here with us, joining with us in Cultural Mix this evening. We want to say, I wrote down her name, I'm going to find her name later on. That would have been maybe about 3 weeks ago. She passed by, she saw me in Falmouth. She said, Bev Moonchild. I'm gonna find her name and just give her a hail out this afternoon, this evening before I leave. But Akwaba to everyone. It is our way of saying welcome. And if you are tuned in, we say share the program with someone. We're going to be talking this evening, and we're going to be talking with Imara. Imara, everyone should know, musical revolutionary. He speaks on things cultural. He's an artist himself, a poet, a writer, a performer, and he is an advocate, social advocate. And this evening, we're going to be talking to him about an important man and an important matter, as we are in the month of August. The month of August is birth dates for a lot of persons, and we want to hail up some persons. This is belated now. We are saying greetings on your day that would have passed. My good friend Dion over there in Georgia, she would have had her birth date yesterday, the 18th of August. And August again, further down in the month, we are going to see the excitement for some other persons who have their birth dates in August. We want to say, keep fighting for those of you who are pushing for equal rights and justice, because that is one of the things we're going to be talking about later on. And standing up for something that is worth it, whether or not anybody is on your side. We say, stand up. We want to say to the persons who are, I can't even see those who are joining. If we are live, for any reason you get kicked off Facebook, let me say it quickly, hop over to YouTube, because we are on YouTube, so you can see us there. We want to hail up the persons who are listening from St. Elizabeth, the persons who are listening from St. James, different parts of St. James, persons who are listening from Falmouth, from Trelawney, from St. Mary, from St. Anne. We want to welcome you and spread the word wherever you are listening Fit FM this evening, wherever you are listening Cultural Mix. Spread the word. Cultural Mix is on, and we want everyone to be here. So we say share. Like the program and share it. All right? Where we went?
Friday. And Fit FM was blasting right up there with
Where did we go last Friday? I don't remember, but I'll remember. I'll remember later on. Oh, that was in St. James. That was I don't remember. It's a community down in you're not into Montego Bay full. But you would have, but it's in, I'm gonna remember where it is. Kathy Cook lives in that area too. Yes, and I think Fender lives in that area. Ryan Park, yes, Ryan Park. So we want to big up the people in Ryan Park who were the people who were listening to Fit FM. We want to hail up all the people in Ryan Park and big up to Dr. Anthony Taylor. Yes, we say belated birthday greetings to you and to all of the persons who came out and supported you on your birthday. We say enough love and plenty of thanks to you all. All right, so here we go. Look at this headline. Study ranks Jamaica second highest in human flight and brain drain in the world. People, if you think it is a joke, reach for the Observer and you will find it there. It is in the Observer, today's Observer. Study ranks Jamaica second highest in human flight. That means people are going. And brain drain in the world, not the Caribbean, in the world. Now, how did we get to this? I want us to think. I want us to consider that this is not a position to be to be happy about. How, you know who we even in front of? Can you guess? No. We are in it. You know who is in third? Palestine. Wow. Palestine is in third place. Palestine, where you just say Palestine is a war zone, where bombs and all kind of thing are firing every day. People are dying every day. We are ahead of Palestine. Who is in first? Samoa. Look it up. It's not my word. Samoa. Go and find it. It's in the Observer, Jamaica's Observer. Study ranks Jamaica second highest in human flight and brain drain in the world. When I heard this morning that 11 teachers left one school in St. Anne, you can imagine you're a principal. And when you look, 11 teachers take up themselves and gone, retire. And as a principal, you don't know your head from your foot come 2 weeks from now. Because how do you fill 11 positions in 2 weeks? And I saw something, and I don't even want to repeat it, where that must be a small school, maybe a school with 5 or so teachers. Because I know we have some schools with small teachers. All of the teachers, them retire. Resign. I'm saying it must be a small school, because if it's not a small school, then that is something to be concerned about. And persons may want us to think, or would have us thinking that everything is okay, but it's not okay, because we are on the ground and we are seeing that it's not okay. You cannot have a system where teachers are just going to pack up and go. And guess what? It is so frightening that sometimes when the teachers are leaving, they don't give the principals any notice. Them get them July pay, them get them August pay, and them gone, and them resignation letter is here while them gone sort out themselves. So come 2 weeks from now, those letters are presented to principals. What do you do as an administrator in a case like something like that? Now all your teachers gone. It is bad. It is really, really bad, and I don't know how we're going to deal with that. I know there will always be persons going away, migrating, and so on, but it cannot be the case where we have so much in an industry, in a system, in an education sector, where some of our teachers are some of the best, in the world, and that is why the recruiters come to Jamaica, but there has to be something in place. Something has to be put in place where when the recruiters come, they don't take the best and gone. Mind you, some persons are looking at it from a different viewpoint, and they're saying there are a lot of young teachers who would have graduated from school, and so they will be able to fill those vacancies. Maybe that's a way of looking at it. But guess what? We need experienced teachers in our classrooms, especially as students prepare for CSEC, and in the primary school, those students who are going to be preparing for their exit exams. We need some kind of experience in the classrooms, and then the younger teachers now will grow and will be mentored and so on. We need the experience, but when all the experienced teachers gone, what going to happen? It's going to take a time for the younger teachers to understand the setting, because being in the classroom and being at teachers college and going to do your teaching practice is not the same thing. It is not the same thing, because the teachers out there who are listening, you understand, when you go on teaching practice, them knows your teaching practice and them know the assessors are coming, so they are on their best behavior. You don't see those real students. Maybe only one or two will show them colors when the assessors are there, but for the most part, the rest of them very, very much behaved. When the assessor's gone, then show them real colors. So teaching practice and real teaching is not the same thing. And so the teachers, the young teachers, are going to take a little time before them get seasoned in the classroom and understand the culture of the classroom and understand the culture of the school. The principal, understand the principal, understand the administration, and so on. It's going to take some time. And so I feel it. I feel it for the schools and for the principals who have to be running, and school boards now who have to be scampering around to get teachers to fill positions that have been left vacant by teachers who are gone abroad to greener pastures. And I heard somebody say the pasture might not even be greener. It might not even be greener. It might just be something that you imagine is greener. And when you go there, the reality will hit you. But some people say, anything better than in a Jamaica. That is where the sad part comes. That's another reality that we have to look into and understand, that there has to be a way that we can retain our best teachers. There has to be a way. Or if there's no way, then you know, dog, nyam supper. It is Friday. It is August 19, and we are here, Cultural Mix, in the studio of Fit FM 96.7, Trelawny's Radio. I am Bev Moonchild, your host. We're going to take a break and we're going to come right back into our discussion with King Imara.
Open doors still not welcome. People seeking to find some wisdom. Some working hard to gain an income. Their children dying anyway. What can we do, my brothers? How we gonna get our pay? See many youths going astray, and I don't know what to do. I've got to say, break down the barriers, break down the fences. Too much people living in the trenches. Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Lift the people from out the trenches. Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Too much people living in the trenches. Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Lift the people from out the trenches. Ooh, yeah. No more segregation. We've got to stop this division by politics and religion. We've got to develop a plan now. Rise and stand up now. We won't be no clown no more. We've got to break down the doors, cause we can't take it no more. Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Too much people living in the trenches. Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Lift the people from out the trenches. Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Too much people living in the trenches. Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Lift the people from out the trenches. Ooh, good. Doors still not welcome. People seeking to find some wisdom. From working hard to gain an income. Your children dying anyway. What can we do, my brother? How we gonna get her pay? See many youths going astray, and I don't know what to do. I'm gonna say, break down the barriers, break down the fences. Too much people living in the trenches. Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Lift the people from out the trenches. Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Too much people living in the trenches. Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Lift the people from out the trenches. You got to rise up. You gotta get up now.
Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Too much people living in the trenches. Break down the barriers, break down the fences. Huh? Wait, you say me I go on. You have to go hear me. You see it. People, welcome back to Cultural Mix. Bev Moonchild, your host here. And my guest this evening is Aymara. Aymara is a poet, for those of you who don't know. And for those of you who know, we're just reminding you, a poet, a writer, a singer, a musical revolutionary, he calls himself. He is here to talk about, what are we going to talk about, Aymara?
We talk about Marcus Garvey, the most feared black man, even after death.
You think Marcus Garvey is the most feared black man?
Of course. No doubt about that. That is how I see it. You know, I never hear nobody else say so, but me I observe it and realize the impact of this great man on world politics, you know, and just to study some of the things that took place even after his death and the people that he inspired, you know, from Africa to the Caribbean. Most of the revolution, even as far as China.
Wow.
Mao Zedong revolution was inspired by Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
So we are in the month of August, and 2 days ago it was the birth date of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Jamaica's first national hero.
Yes.
And when you observe,
and you could have called him the first deportee too.
Jamaica's first deportee.
Yeah.
When you observe the celebrations that would have marked the 135th
birth
date for Marcus Garvey, persons would say it was very low keyed.
It's like them bury him again.
Oh no.
Yeah. When you look on what they call a celebration, it's like reburying him. You know? The kind of sad mood, you know, see that kind of enthusiasm like what you saw at the celebration of them so-called Diamond Jubilee.
So you're saying now at the celebration to mark the life of Marcus Garvey,
of the greatest black man of the 20th century.
People that kind of
were born
mood,
and come out of Jamaica.
Yes, the kind of mood that you would have wanted to see, you never see it at all. People, they look too sad or unhappy. It never bring across that kind of atmosphere that you would have wanted to see as a celebration for a hero, for a man coming out of Jamaica that is revered worldwide. Aymara, that's what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And it's a deliberate thing, you know. When you understand what the colonial infrastructure is all about, you know. Remember when Marcus Garvey even launched his newspaper, right? The Negro World. Jamaica was one of the places that banned the Negro World, you know. Just think about that. That the country where the man born and grew, he have a newspaper and they banned it. So you can observe, you know, the impact of this man and the reason why they want to make sure that even his ideology and his philosophies and his opinion, you know, as much as they can, they keep push it under, because they recognize the importance of his ideas. They recognize that his teachings is a threat to the infrastructure that is in place. And no doubt about that. You see, after he died June 10th, 1940, right? There was a lot of upheavals in the US and revolutions across the world. And when Edgar Hoover them observed what was happening, they intensify the core Intel Pro to make sure they crushed any new organization that was rising up. And they killed many black nationalists and many black leaders.
But before you talk about that, he would have had an impact with the UNIA, no? So at death now, they are trying to up whatever they can now, right? So the impact of the UNIA on the world is what we probably need to talk about first, before you talk about in depth what they were trying to do.
Well, let's go there. If a man could form and organize, you know, when Marcus Garvey formed the UNIA in Jamaica, the 1st of August, 1914.
1914.
And what is the 1st of August?
The 1st of August for us would be Emancipation
Day.
Yeah.
So you could see the idea and the intent of the man forming an organization here in Jamaica, 1914, right? By 1916, he was in the United States 2 years after. And when he launched it, right, about a month of time of 2 million followers. 1 month of time when he launched it in America.
He had how many followers?
2 million.
And we're not talking about Facebook or we know saying at them time in 1914. No, I'm just saying, you know, when people say them have 2 million followers on Facebook, or them have this on Facebook, or 10 million on Facebook. Here's a man in 1914.
Formed something here in Jamaica in 1914. Realized that it wasn't getting anywhere.
Any traction in Jamaica?
No.
And he went to America with it.
To America.
And by 2 years.
And in 2 years' time, he launched. Maybe about 3 years. He went to America 1916.
So that's 2 years after he formed it.
He launched it here, right? And maybe a year of time went into America.
So we're talking about 1917.
1917, when he launched in the United States of America in a month time.
So we're talking about 1917, roundabout there. And you could have 2 million followers in a them time there. What was he doing? What was he saying is what we need to talk about.
And remember that even when he went to the United States, he came upon a serious opposition, not just from the white system, but the classist infrastructure in America, where people like W.E. Du Bois was calling him a buffoon and lunatic and, you know, ridiculing the worst way. You understand? But he stood up against all of those opposition and become a giant, you know?
So they were ridiculing him because of what?
Because them couldn't see how this little brother from Jamaica coming to America, you know, with this kind of idea, want to, you know, unite the black race, you know, talking about back to Africa. Because remember, those guys who born in America attain what you call tertiary education and being a part of the industry. They were more about integration, you know. But Marcus Garvey was saying, no, we need to build a nation of our own. We need our own army, you know. We need our own education system. We need our own black government. We need an ideology that is black. You know what I mean? So that is what he was projecting and propagating. So these guys know who don't want to, rock the boat. They would rather him come and just be a part of the system and integrate into it. But Marcus Garvey wasn't about integration.
Yes, I hear you. I'm still thinking about 1916, 17 for someone to come up with an organization, come up with an idea and put it out there in the world. And at that time to have 2 million people following you. And when we say following, we are talking about literally following you, gathering up where you are.
Yeah.
That's how it go?
Yeah.
You call a meeting and people come out, come listen to you. That kind of following we're talking about.
But you see how fast the thing move, Remember by my 1923, them frame him and imprison him,
So he was going full speed. This is what you call full speed
So
ahead.
by 1923, we have over 11 million people worldwide that follow the movement, And the movement spread right across the world, Belize, to how powerful Marcus Garvey. You see what they call him, the IRA, the Irish Revolution Army. Marcus Garvey inspired that. Marcus Garvey them study. So even white revolutionaries were studying this black nationalist.
This black man and this black man out of Jamaica.
The greatest Pan-Africanist. Because every Pan-African movement come out of the idea of Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
Coming out of Jamaica.
He is the father of Pan-Africanism. No doubt about that. So when you look in a place like Jamaica, and it struck me, and his birth date, I was looking and I'm saying, oh, the place so dull. We don't hear nothing about Marcus Garvey. You know what I mean? How can you forget Marcus Garvey? How?
He was not. It was.
Yes,
the place was dull. The commemoration was very low keyed, and usually would have seen a little more. I don't know what would have contributed to that kind of thing. I'm yet to find out, but it just felt away. It just felt away. We'd have had celebrations for Marcus Garvey in St. Anne. Would have commemoration in Kingston. The Rastas would have gathered. Other Pan-African group would have gathered, but we never hear anything this year at all. And you're wondering what is happening though in Jamaica, the land of his birth. I don't know what is happening. I don't know if it's coming out of the pandemic. People still like them don't know how to think. What I don't know.
I try to find no excuse, man. Then after pandemic, they don't have Diamond Jubilee.
But even outside of government, I'm talking about other groups. Because we cannot always say the government are going to do it and the government are going to do it.
You see, one of the things we are looking on, you see, when Marcus Garvey formed the UNI, he was 27 years old. And this is something that I'm looking at in Jamaica right now. Where are the young minds with that kind of vibrancy, with that kind of political literacy, who ready to take on the world? Marcus Garvey took on the world before he was even 27, because he must have been thinking, before 27, that him could have said, boy, I'm going to form an organization. That means maybe from his early teen or late teens, he was thinking of how, him can make a change to in people, not just locally, but worldwide. You know what I mean? To be courageous enough to go to England and study journalism there, and use Muhammad Ali, return to Jamaica, right? And then him form this newspaper. He start this newspaper named the Black Man. It failed, and then he went into America, and when he launched the Negro World, right? 50,000 till it reached over 200,000, subscriber across the world.
You mean to the Negro world?
To the Negro world. You understand? So when you look on that, the magnitude of the man, and how he mobilized people, you see one of the skills that I realized lacking among us, is the skill of mobilization.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the skill that most political organizations use to manipulate and control.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But as soon as any ordinary person, them recognize that you have that kind of gift or that kind of talent, then target you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You could name them. Malcolm X was such person with the skill and the gift of mobilization, where they could mobilize people. You know what I mean? Even Elijah Muhammad, who studied Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey, right.
Because when you listen to Farrakhan,
They
that
talk
is
about
what
Mr.
Farrakhan
Garvey,
talking
yes.
about.
Yes.
Mr. Garvey. That
Yes.
was the first picture of Black Pride he saw,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in his house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he said, who is that man? And he said, it's that guy named Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
Mm-hmm.
He was the leader for the UNIA. You know what I mean? So when you observe all of these things, and that's why, without any apology, even in death, I am saying Marcus Garvey is still the most feared Black man, even in death.
Even in death, because we realize that the very basic principles, the very basic philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, the very basic teachings of Marcus Garvey as promised to be taught in schools. We don't understand what is happening with that program. We're talking about Jamaica, where it was said that Garvey's teachings could be in schools. We are not sure where that program is, because I'm yet to find out, or I'm yet to hear if his teachings are in schools. Why wouldn't we as a country, having this man who was you could say he's the epitome of Black pride, why are we so reluctant in having his teachings in schools? What is in his philosophy and his opinions? What is there that we are afraid of, that we do not want to implement it in our schools?
All right, I'm going to read one of his opinion here, right? From his philosophy and opinion. See? I have it long time, because even this book was born in Jamaica, so people should know that by Hugh Shearer. Marcus Garvey, philosophy and opinion of Marcus Garvey.
Hugh Shearer banned a lot of books, including
yeah. So your Marcus Garvey say, history is the landmark by which we are directed into the true course of life. The history of a movement, the history of a nation, the history of a race is the guidepost of that movement's destiny, that nation destiny, that race destiny. What you do today, what is worthwhile, inspires others to act at some future time.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that? You must show yourself whatever you are doing now, right, will inspire others to act in some future time. So that means Marcus Garvey had a vision. Now, you just ask the question why them not teach him philosophy and opinion. Then look at it. If he inspired people like Patrice Lumumba, Nyerere, Fidel Castro.
We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break and come back to that, Imara. Talk about the persons who are the world leaders who were inspired by Marcus Garvey. We want to also look on the fact we're inspiring others, what it takes to inspire other people. We're taking a break. We soon come back. It's Cultural Mix, and it is Fit FM 96.7. It's Bev Moonchild. We'll be back.
You got to be good. You better be good now. You got to be good. You gotta be good to your brother, man. And you got to love your sister too. Na 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 na. You better be good to everyone. And God will shine His light on you. I know He'll shine His light on you. As I travel in life lonely road, I see many fall along the way. But the race is not for the swift, nor the battle for the strong. But time and chances face us all. Why, time and chances face us all. We not give it up. We can't give it up. We never give it up. We can't give it up. Sitting on the outside looking in. Life seems so gloomy all the way. So I got to be strong. I've got to hold on. The tribulation we face that day by day. Why I pray to Jah so I won't go astray. Now give it up. We can't give it up. We never give it up. So we can't give it up. Why?
Know yourself, know your roots, know your culture. You're in tune to cultural mix with Dead Moon Child and Fit FM 96.7. Fridays, 6 to 8 p.m. I'm Mara Senat.
Never let the system get you down. No way, no way. Never let it make you wear a frown. Well, you are only one life to live. So your best shot, you've got to give. Yes, I'm standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall. I'm standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 above them all. Well, things may not be like you want them to be. Yes, so be wise. You got to tread carefully. Well, there may be obstacles in your way. Just remember, Rome wasn't built in one day. I'm standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall. I'm standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 above them all. Well. Living in this world of inequality, just make sure you keep your sanity. Yes, facing all kind of constraints every day. In this life, your dues you've got to pay. Yes, I'm standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall. Well, I'm standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 among them all. I'm standing 10, I'm standing 10 feet tall, I'm standing 10, I'm standing 10.
We can't go so high, Julia. 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall, standing Peter and the singer they right beside me, I wouldn't even help me out. Not say a word. Not say a word at all, at all. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to Cultural Mix. We are in the studio of Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. And I'm your host, Bev Moonchild. With me this evening is Aymara. We're talking Marcus Garvey. His birth date was on the 17th of August, just 2 days ago?
Yeah.
And we are talking about Marcus Garvey, that powerful man coming out of Jamaica. As I said before we took the break, Marcus Garvey is the epitome of black pride. When you look at a man, when you look how the man used to dress and how him have him chest ups on him, dip on him horse and him dip on him arm. Him what you call him kind of
them vehicle what we call them
whatever,
trunk car or
whatever.
Chariot, yeah.
And you see him up on him you say wow in that time, because as you say Aymara, 1914 is when he came up with this idea of the UNIA.
Yeah, he launched it here in Jamaica.
Nah, get no traction in Jamaica, and he moved into the US. And by 1917, roundabout there, he had 2 million followers. Can you imagine that, people? A man never had no technology, no nothing, but 2 million people were following him. So wherever he went and he would have had his meeting, people there behind him like rice grain. Before we took the break, we're talking about how Marcus Garvey inspired world leaders, and some of those world leaders as far back as China. Who was that?
Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong. He was in China.
He was the person who led the revolution, the communist revolution that formed the Chinese
People's Republic of China.
Yeah, People's Republic of China.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when we were studying certain things, we realized that this virgin was studying Marcus Garvey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And even Fidel Castro, all of these revolutionaries studied Marcus Garvey. You know, Kwame Nkrumah.
Mm-hmm.
In the Ghana flag, it is the black star.
Mm-hmm.
That is what inspired him,
Mm-hmm.
the UNIA and the black star liner, that he put the black star in the center of his flag.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So you see the history and the reason why, if this man can inspire all of these people who stood up and resisted oppression, you know what I mean, to liberate them country, to want independence from Britain and all those other countries, you know that this man was something that they were wondering. And that's why, you know, when you see, there's a thing where we have now poem, they say tactics of assimilation.
Mm-hmm.
Them use that thing there very well, you know, because they would have rather put in Marcus Garvey and make sure he come dead in England more than have him in Jamaica. So even when they deported him from America, he was still under their watch. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we have to pay attention to this. We have to make sure, say, him don't go to Jamaica and form no movement or no organization. And even when they deported him in 1927, when he returned to Jamaica on the 10th of December 1927, see? And then he formed the People's Political Party, 1929,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, because of how the system was against him, especially the colonial infrastructure with them newspaper, especially the same cleaner. See? You understand? See, we must know the history of these institutions, you know, because people don't understand the power of media houses and how them impacted the consciousness and the psyche of the people.
Yes.
And there is where the message. And that's why we say it is serious when we come to this time of what we call them social media, and what social media is propagating and instilling in the consciousness and the minds of our people.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going back to that time,
Mm-hmm.
how them make sure
They
that
use the media at that
use
time to
media
discredit Marcus
to
Garvey.
discredit him at every turn.
Mm-hmm.
That when he failed, after he formed the People's Political Party, and him, you know, he was up against it,
Mm-hmm.
can't get to even, you know, mobilize the people that well because him up against, because them really them even create some false news against his newspaper. Use a woman, see, to create some false news, and guess what? He was tried and sent to prison. And while Marcus Garvey was
hold on. So he formed a political party when he came back, when he was deported.
Yeah, man.
So Marcus Garvey was the first
political
deported.
party, man. Yeah.
Marcus Garvey was Jamaica's first deported. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, man.
Okay. So when he came back to Jamaica, he formed the People's Political Party in 1929.
Yeah.
So he ran in what? In the Kingston and St. Andrew.
After that, because he was looking to create like a national movement with his People Political Party.
Okay.
It never worked out.
Okay.
You understand? Because he was up against the colonial powers
Yeah.
here. Plus what was happening from the United States. Because remember, you know, these people, them don't want anything happening in them backyard to look like it is going to be a threat. So when them make sure so them drive him out of America, it was the intent was to dismantle the movement. You know, right? So him being in Jamaica and still active, that is still a threat to their system. Okay.
So he lost the
He never really run. As I say, he was trying to
form the People's
and
Political
to get
Party.
it out there. But after that, he ran in a local government election.
Okay.
Won a seat in the KSAC. Well, you know when he won that seat, where he was?
Where he was in jail?
He was in jail.
So they had locked him up for what?
Some fraudulent thing where them jump up against him with this woman. And you know who was against him at that time?
Who?
Norman Manley.
My God.
You see, Jamaica history have some twist and turn in it, you know.
Yeah.
And to dissect it and to go deep into it. That's why we say we need in a Jamaica what we call name truth and reconciliation. To really heal the nation, because all sort of twisted and bitterness, you know, created among our people. And it is a design, you know, it is not something that just popped up, so, you know. It is designed by the present system that is in place.
So you said they use a woman to create false news about him?
Yeah, and sent him to prison, to jail.
What did they?
I would have to go forward to do the research, but it was something pertaining to the same newspaper.
Wow. So Marcus Garvey was up against it.
At all times.
He was up against it.
And guess what? I'll show you how courageous Marcus Garvey is. Because I knew these things, you know. There has never been a movement where the leader has not suffered for the cause and not received the ingratitude of the people. I, like the rest, am prepared for the consequence.
So he also said man without
men who are in earnest
are not afraid of consequences. So he knew.
So
he was prepared.
That's courage.
Yes, he was prepared.
That is what you call love for a nation, you know,
yes.
Love for a people. When a man will pay the ultimate price. You see, and that's why when I said that he's the most feared black man in life and in death, you know, you look on the infrastructure and the system, and people will spread certain things pertaining to Christendom, and if you do this and if you do that, you will get judgment. But not even Jesus, people don't fear. The system don't fear like Marcus Garvey.
The system don't fear Jesus.
Because them use that to warp the people's mind.
I remember I asked a question on my Facebook page, who is the most feared black man, even in death?
And people even say that.
People say Jesus. But Jesus is
when
not
Yeshua
feared.
was alive, when Yeshua was shredded, he was feared until they find a way if it twist everything. And that's why them kill him. That's why Marcus Garvey has to say, you know. That's why they killed Yahshua, you know. So
And
them
created Jesus.
and they created a man named Jesus and said, this man is the man who, you know, and them create some little stories around him life. You know what I mean? That him not really ever resist anything. Him, you know, he's will be submissive, and as Christian, you must just kneel and pray and don't say anything. You know, the Lord will work it out. So they might tell us that Jesus will work it out. While Jesus did tell them, don't tell us.
Yeshua.
Yeshua, the same Yeshua said, that is within me is within you. No, this is one of the things that people fear the most, you know.
When you will resist.
People want people, and that's why you see some man not like if you have a strong woman, a woman against stand up and say, but I don't like what you said to me also. Because submission is a thing where people like to use to manipulate other people.
Yeah, the Bible
Once
speaks
you're
about
submissive, you're a slave. So people like slave.
Amara, the Bible said, wife must submit to the husband.
So you must dig deep and analyze the meaning of submit.
You must be submissive. You must be home. You must come down. You must not make no trouble. You must just calm yourself and
even if you are in trouble, don't make any trouble. That is what they are saying. You see how deep it is. Even if him stand up in your neck, you know, you must just take it.
Me not think of that it mean though.
What do you mean if you don't think of that it mean?
Can be.
So
can be.
When then they know that.
It can be.
It no have no other little clause to say if you know, no if not in it, you know, it's one thing. You must be submissive. You see nothing say if in it when you read. No. So once there's no if to say, you know, and
a clause that can let you off.
That can let you off. It is straightforward. You must be submissive
at all times, regardless.
No matter what.
No matter what. No matter what.
That's what it means.
Well, you know who not submissive. It's too much, Amara. And I think too, as you said earlier, standing up against the system is what Marcus Garvey is for. Finding a way for the system to understand that we have a right to decide our own destiny, as Marcus Garvey would have, Bob Marley would have said.
You might take it from Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey said them something, you know. Bob Marley just repeat them in a song.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
just know
that's
that.
True. So I am just going back to the thing of why is it? What is it about Marcus Garvey that people or the system, the world system, would fear him? These are some of the teachings. He talks about some I don't know if it was in was it a thing there he had a manifesto when he was forming the political party. Was it a manifesto he had? And he spoke about leaders.
Yeah.
If you are found guilty of robbing the purse.
Yeah, man, you must be stoned to death, man. Watch out, the man him a lead a political party, you know, and him a put system that even me, Marcus Garvey, if what he stated too, the leader must be paid the leader well. But if the leader, you know,
is found to be stealing from the purse, from the public purse, he must be executed. No wonder they don't want those to be taught.
You understand?
And we have seen not only in Jamaica, but in the Caribbean, where there are leaders who are found wanting, tried and found wanting, where money is concerned and the public purse is concerned. What if we were abiding by the rules that Marcus Garvey was setting out in his political manifesto? We are getting to understand why we don't want to teach Marcus Garvey. We don't want to teach his philosophies. We don't want to teach his opinions, because it would really mash down the system and the system would not prevail. We are talking with Aymara getting down deep into why he thinks Marcus Garvey is the most feared black man, even in death. It is Cultural Mix, and we are here in the studio of Fit FM 96.7. I am Bev Moonchild. At this time, there are some persons who are watching us. Kay, big up yourself. And Vernon Snow from the start at saying up Up Vernon Snow, DJ Snow, you are there and you're watching us. Tell other people that we're on and we're talking Marcus Garvey. So if you know persons who are interested in Marcus Garvey and the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, tell them that on Cultural Mix we are talking about Marcus Garvey, Bev Moonchild, and Imara talking about Marcus Garvey. We're going to take a break and we're going to come right back.
Love. Togetherness we need. Oneness and love. How terrible it is to be your own enemy. Where can you find peace? Having a war only in yourself. How terrible it is to be your own. All things within. Can you find peace? Having a war eternally. Destroying yourselves is not the way it should be. It's only in love you will find security of yourself. You shouldn't be afraid. You cannot take a stand. If yourself you cannot face. So rise and claim your place. How terrible it is to be your own enemy. Feel yourself, my brother. Can you find peace? Let yourself, my sister. How terrible it is to be your own enemy. Can you find peace? Having a war eternally. We are instruments of God. Yes, we're here to do His job. Check to see the path you're on. In our minds we must be strong. If there is no tranquility within our own selves, then how can we find peace and love with someone else? How terrible it is. Can you see me? Do you feel what I'm saying? Can you find peace? Having a war in the fight of peace and love. How terrible it is to be your own enemy. Can you find peace? Having a war eternally. It's time to stop fighting ourselves, blowing our own minds, trying to run but can't escape. Take heed, mankind. How terrible it is to be your own enemy. How terrible it is. Can you find peace? Having a war eternally. To be your own enemy. To be your own enemy. Can't stop destroying yourself. Nobody
Eternally, how terrible
it is to be your own enemy. Where can you find peace? Having a war internally. You see it?
how terrible it is.
To be your own enemy.
Where can you find
Peace, having war internally. Yeah. Remember when we write them tune, you know, Edna Manley College in the 90s. See? But, you know, you see, sometimes music just lead you to certain things, you know. You're about Marcus Garvey. Say, any sane man, race or nation that desires freedom must first of all think in terms of blood. Why? Even the Heavenly Father tells us that without the shedding of blood, there can be no remission of sins. Then how, in the name of God, with history before us, do we expect to redeem Africa without preparing ourselves? Some of us
to die. Then him go further and him say, this. For over 300 years, the white man has been our oppressor. And he naturally is not going to liberate us to the higher freedom, the true liberty, the true democracy. We have to liberate ourselves. That's it. So, we look now and we see what Marcus Garvey did. See? We see what Marcus Garvey did. And then we look now and we see we are asked for reparation. Marcus Garvey didn't even pass this, Because Marcus Garvey realized nobody can repair we, and we have to repair ourselves. So he set about long time to repair the nation. And the only way the nation can repair is if you have a structure in place that is governed by us with an ideology and a philosophy by us. So you can't ask for reparation. I mean, want to ask the people and we are bald for reparation now. What if England decided the next 3 months, say, yes, we are going to grant no reparation, but them still have them protectorate system and govern us? How it going to benefit the ordinary people?
No, but the thing is, me think you're going to ask the question. So when England say, all right, we're going to grant you reparations and we're going to pay you how much billion
Are the same thing me I say?
Who is going to pay to?
And the same thing me I say? Because they are going to play government to government.
Yeah.
Seeing, but the government that they are going to pay it to is a government that represents the system.
The same queen.
The same queen.
Yeah.
So it don't. So this is what I'm saying, that Marcus Garvey, we just talk about reparation. And Marcus Garvey stand to repair us. But we don't even did see that Marcus Garvey do try to repair the black man. And that's why even Elijah Muhammad, when them start the Nation of Islam, was the same kind of thing. If you hear the message from Elijah Muhammad and even Farrakhan, is to repair the broken black man who is looking outside of himself for somebody else to come and save him.
Yeah.
You see what I say? So the only redemption that we going to find is the redemption within ourselves. And we have to come together and talk about that. And that is why I am saying, even the two political parties and the system in Jamaica, it was something to derail that movement of black liberation. That was why they were set up,
So the black liberation would have been coming forward from when? From Marcus Garvey?
Even before Marcus Garvey, because we must understand, we never stop fighting, always fighting back as according to couple line of point, attack after attack. Yes, what I say? Because look at it, from even one day bolus, one day serious, down to Kojo, come to Nani. Seeing that spirit was always there.
That spirit of what? Of fighting, of revolution.
Of knowing. It is affirming within ourselves that there is none greater than us that can dictate to us that we have to be your slaves and you be our masters. You know what I mean? We knew it. It's in our DNA, in our psyche. It's a spirit of liberation and freedom. It's more than just a physical thing, This is not something that can be contained. You with us? It can't be contained. So that is why we have to find a way within this time, whatever tools we have. You know what I mean? Because unless we just go say, boy, we just go and bounce about and try to run like how the teacher them are run and like how the nurse them are run. You know, when I sad thing will hit me one day, I'll tell you when I sad thing will hit me. We just see what happened to the people them what them call them. The wind rush. You see what happened?
The wind rush.
The wind rush generation. You see what happened? Couple of years ago, when them try to send back some of them and then pick me and deport them and treat them the worst way.
Build Britain.
Jesus, then on the same thing we are do again. All of who them are coming to recruit teachers for carry work in Britain. And we are going to go build them again, you know. And still I will get, you see the cycle.
Continues.
The cycle continues.
But Imara, look at, me understand where you say clearly, look at the point now where the teachers are suffering in them own country.
What are they suffering? Yeah, me say something to the people, man.
Can't make
what me say
ends
something
meet.
to the people, I could say something to the people, because this is what people miss at all time. You must be willing to fight. You can't run. That's why Bob Marley said, you're running and you're running and you're running away. You're running and you're running and you can't run away from yourself. Where are you running to? Because what you are running from is the same structure, is the geopolitical order that is governing Jamaica, you know, causing this brain drain, you know. So them have us, them have you and I paying taxes to educate these people. But when these people supposed to return the favor to help them own people, then gonna help other people and other country. So the brain drain not help the brain, the people who we educate in Jamaica, the teachers, the nurses, the doctor, we as taxpayers. See? Our money. Educate them. Not for them will say I mean work and pay for me because them politically illiterate, so they don't understand. I may find the money if you send myself go educate it. But you get some benefit from the institutions that you have been through, and not for those benefit is taxpayers' money. Help you to get them benefit there. See?
Agree.
What I say? No. You see, if you really think as a national and a patriotic Jamaica, you would have realized that the government system that is in place is the corrupt system, and this is what we must stand up against. We must come together. But you see, the compartmentalization system of government, where from teacher get fee money, all right. From the nurses, all right, we're no business with nobody else. And from police, them, all right, we're cool. You see what I'm saying? So them set we up in that kind of way, that the only thing we start to think is about
self.
Is about individual self, instead of thinking of the, let me put it that way, the communal self, which is the community. How we going to come together? So me I run, you know, because me need to get my little thing. But when you run your left, you picnic them. When you run your left, some student will look towards you. Because you see, when I want to say it a while ago, say, boy, you know, the principal them, I know the principal them are weeping. It's the country a weep right now, you know. Because what we are going to produce is more shatters and whoppers and scammers. Just think about it. Just think about it. But that is also deliberate. Because when you have an uneducated nation, what is going to become of us? What is going to become of us? So the people who are running just thinking about themselves, because the infrastructure and the education system set up that way. It is a selfish system. And that is why I'm saying they are fearful of Marcus Garvey. Because Marcus Garvey was forming a movement that, you know, this
benefit
movement
the community.
would benefit the community, benefit black nation worldwide. We have our government system, we have our own shipping company, we have our own airline, we're producing, we're manufacturing. We're not just going to depend on what other nation produce and give to us. You know what I mean? We want to be technologically advance. We want to have our own satellite. See, these are the things that the rest of the world are fighting against us, and make sure that us as black people don't reach that level, because they know that we are the most powerful set of people on this earth. They know that. We don't know ourselves, you know.
And that's where that is where the tragedy begins.
And this is why I'm saying in Jamaica, the people in Jamaica don't understand the impact and the power of this great man, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And them don't know that.
But the world knows.
And even some of them will know, and I'm not joking, you know, they must get a beating. They must get a beating. And like we are asked it, you know, we know that. Because when you turn your back on your ancestors that shed their blood, that you could be or you can be where you are, and you in turn turn your back on them and oppress your own people in the interest of those who are in power, it means that you don't even understand what leadership is. See, Marcus Garvey said leadership means blood,
and even being prepared
to die,
to shed your own, to give up your life. How many of our people?
You see, and this is why we say Jamaica is a Christian country. But at that example, Jesus did show. The same Jesus that they matter about.
So what?
Had that example him show.
You mean to give up his life?
To give his life for the remission of sins. You understand what that means? It means that this is not me.
The flesh here.
This is not me. There's a deeper thing. Energy cannot die. So I can give up this and renew it. Until we reach that consciousness. Marcus Garvey knew that. That's why I say, watch, I look for me in what?
In the whirlwind.
Aye. Why you believe him I say that?
Because his principles will continue. The flesh may fall. But his ideas,
the ideology and the principles cannot die.
Cannot fall.
So no matter how them try to cover it up and try to push it under.
Yeah.
As long as even 10 away know about it, we will propagate it and make people understand the importance, you know, of not just the man, you know, but the depth of the man, the deeper essence of the man.
The conscious choices that
people
he
look
made.
at the personality, you know, but it is much deeper because Marcus Garvey would have learned this from many, many great leaders before him along his journey. You know what I mean? So this spirit and this energy is ancient, and like nothing where them can stop.
You said don't talk about personality, but a lot of us are carried away by personality. Imara.
It's true. Because when we talk about Marcus Garvey, we forget Yemi Jakes Garvey.
Yeah, we are caught
because what we have here now, you know, I hear me Jakes. No, for we still can't talk about Marcus Garvey after I'm dead, you know. And she, you know,
put the thing together.
Put the thing together, even the philosophy and opinions and all of them things there. You see me I say? So you see the importance of a great woman behind a great man. You see me I say?
Not behind.
Alongside.
Yeah.
Man. Alongside.
Because when we hear of Marcus Garvey, very rarely we hear about any of his wives, because he had 2 wives.
And not just the wives, but the women
in the movement.
In the movement. You know? Just to segue a little. Just recently I was listening to a documentary from Beverly Manley. And everybody will talk about say Michael Manley is the one who put in place maternity leave and everything there. The truth is Beverly Manley and the women movements are them agitate and advocate for that, you know. You know
but we didn't see that.
But nobody never said that.
They saw the personality of
Michael Manley. So he didn't get the credit for that. But nobody knows that Beverly Manley was the founder of the PMP women's movement who decided, say, watch ya, we as black women, and you know, we are gonna make sure, say, you can't have where work all year and we just get pregnant and you just tell for God we are with nothing and all of these things. You see me I say?
And there came after the 3 months of maternity leave. Because there was none, especially. First of all, if you're pregnant and not married, dog never up because you have to go home.
The women movement break down those barriers. Believe it.
You see? You know what I mean?
Believe it. You see me I say? Because we must understand, you know, the inculcation of a patriarchal dominated education system, you know.
Which is what we have.
And that is what exists right around the world right now in politics and in religion. You know? And that's why we are imploring that, you know, women must, rise now, man. You see, with daughters, them, we must empower them and make them know, say, just jiggy and wine and listen to hip hop music and listen to music when I carry them gun away and joke around. Go and study political science.
Amara.
These are some of the things we are talking about.
Our women, especially in the music.
Yeah.
The music now that is now used as a weapon, because I think it is used as a weapon right now. Because it is being used as a weapon against women and against men. But more so, our females are getting trapped in a system. You talk about empowering women and rising. It is going to be difficult in this time under this present system. Because when you look today, I was in Falmouth and standing at one of the machines, and I saw this slim young lady walking up. But she had on her tights, what we call tights, She have on her tights and she a walker come up and me and say, something not so right about her. But when she came up closer to me, Julia, and passed me, I said, wow. Me only see two something so like balloon. Just stick on her bottom round there, so two round something so. And I say, oh, that is why she's wearing a tights, because from behind, you just see these two round things and the two little stick them, which is her feet, then just come down. So, and I'm saying, these people who are making their bottoms and so on, the doctors don't kind of round them up on the foot.
Doctor make money, babe. That our doctor board, you think doctor business or you want to look, you have your money if you come. Once you don't really have no confidence in yourself, the doctor, and money, him go study for make,
So I'm saying, I'm just saying this to say our females are in danger because of what exists now. And instead of rising to your full purpose and be your true self, this is what is being put out there through the media. You talk about social media, this is what we are seeing every day. So what is going to happen? Who is going to take up that and say, women, we need to rise, or you need to rise? How are you going to work?
As we say, what we need sometime, is not a mass, it's just a critical mass. A critical mass, And once we find that critical mass and we can mobilize that critical mass, because sometimes we look on things that happen in 5 or 6 year time, You understand? We are up against it, And that's why we even give thanks, for even which part where they right here, so at Fit FM. See? Would I say Umoja is somebody who inspired by Marcus Garvey, and that's why we're there, so attack all of them something here right now. You see me and say, somebody does show the impact, of one man idea, it's like a seed, Bob Marley have a line in one song where him say, every time I plant a seed, them say, kill it before it grow. You see me and say, him observe that, and he observed that was what they were doing to even the movement of Marcus Garvey. And as a Rastaman, which the Rastafari movement is inspired by Marcus Garvey, because even the head of the movement was a Garveyite. Leonard Howard was a Garveyite. You see me I say? And other brothers were a part of what we call the great revivalists up in Augustown, the Bedward, Alexander Bedward.
He was a Garveyite.
And all of them were looking towards Marcus Garvey. You understand? See? So you see what celebrating.
Yeah.
Because me have to go back to that, a Diamond Jubilee, in a Jamaica. And when you realize what took place from 1929, coming up, because remember, it is just the reason why I even want to talk about this, because some things are going right now that took place literally in a cyclical way. Seeing things that we call recession and world depression and error. One of the things where people not paying attention to, what we call recession. When there's a recession, there's a few people who become triple time richer.
Yes, it boom for some.
You understand? And the vast majority of the people, you're going to have some way where them are going to make sure we're going to wipe out some of them, because it's a system. All right. We have a new workforce. We need to get rid of them people. We need to kill some of them. We need to get some of them frustrated. We need to fire them, pay them off, send them at the yard. Some of them now go have no pension. We pressure them till high blood pressure kill them and hypertension kill them. You think so? And then we create doctors now for send them drugs and send them medicine.
Oh my. It looks bleak.
It look bleak, but as we said, it only looks bleak to the people who don't want to see it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to escape it.
Mm-hmm.
Fear can't save you, you know. The only thing when fear save you is courage and love.
Mm-hmm.
So if you become fearful of what is, then you're kind of dark. Even get darker.
We're talking about Marcus Garvey and the impact that Marcus Garvey has on the world, you see? And when you look at his teachings and his philosophy and his opinions, you see where we can kind of understand why he's been shoved under the rug. But as you say, if I have 2 or 3 or 4, if I have 5 people keeping this alive, him can't dead and him say, look for us in the world, for him in the whirlwind. You look at what is happening in Jamaica. We talk about the teachers who are leaving. We talk about the nurses who are being recruited and them gone, and what Marcus Garvey was trying to put in place for community and not for self. Because we have not been taught to be community oriented. We have been taught to be really selfish, you know. Me, and me. Me, myself, and I, my family. And if we good, then you just catch and watch. Not bother you.
We want kind of put it in the perspective that, you know, because in fact, you know, we were taught because it's a natural way for we live, you know.
We were not socialized.
All right. So you what more want to say?
We were not socialized to be community.
But we still don't want to use a word. Because I show you the system that created us in a way that we are not community oriented is really the infrastructure of the education system.
Yeah, then I hit we are talking about.
All right, but I am saying,
because where are we socialized?
Right, so
most people socialize at church or school.
All right, so in another way, when people who understand say, just look upon it in a natural way. You know?
Okay.
See? All right. I remember a couple of hurricane or disaster in Jamaica. And yes, when then something they hit, people come together like, wow, man. You remember? You say when Gilbert hit, man. All people whenever used to talk to a run go lift up, man, and help, man. So that is a natural thing.
It's a natural thing. It's a natural thing.
You see what I say?
Yeah.
It's a natural part of us as human beings to look out and care and share with each other. Right? Is the system that them put in place. You know, a system where show you say, boy, is one piece of bone. And one of you goes go fight for that one piece of bone there. But really, on a one piece of bone, you are under the illusion that is a piece of bone. Everything that if you can share. As me say, you know, sometimes people hear me say certain things. Like me and a sister talk yesterday and she said, me not believe in a God. I mean, I say, but you're foolish when you say that. Oh, I am. How can I not believe in myself? She said, sit there now, sit there. You have put up yourself to God. I say, boy, here and now. How can I experience God if it's not within myself?
Yeah, because you can't experience God outside of yourself.
How can I experience the Creator without experience what is within myself?
Yeah.
Oh. So I am saying, when you look at how the orders of life set up, we naturally as humans, because we know that we are connected that way. We know that there is no you without me.
It's a natural thing, Imara. Yes, I agree with you. It's a natural thing. But that natural thing has been spoilt. That natural thing has been changed. That natural thing has been schooled out of some of us.
I'm glad. See the term we're using. Schooled out.
Yes, it has been schooled out of some of us. So we become very selfish. We become oriented with me, myself, and I. And I want to bring you to the point where somebody was raising that the teachers and the professionals who are leaving, some people say they're selfish, so they're only thinking about themselves and they're not thinking about their country. I hear another person, it is said, where he said they're cowards. So people are saying a lot of things about people who are leaving Jamaica, but the people themselves who are leaving, it's because they see that they cannot manage in this country. Things are not on a level that they can make ends meet for themselves and them family. That may I talk about, you know?
Well, hear the truth. The truth is, you know, me here, somebody who I used to admire one time use a term, yeah, what them call name, economic inequality.
Mm-hmm.
See? I know, like, say the teacher them couldn't stay at Jamaica and have a decent salary and live decently.
They could, because
You
I'm
know?
sure they would want to
So
stay in
that is what me I
Jamaica.
talk about.
They
Hold on,
could.
hold on.
Mm-hmm.
That is what me I talk about. We must look on the people who are fatten them coffers. I take more than.
That is what
what
I'm
them-
saying.
You see me I say?
They
So
could.
you are running from what you contribute, you know. This is what me I talk about. You know.
Mhm.
We must understand the depth of politics and the contribution, you know. And when I say my contribution, you know, I am talking the contribution of my ancestors, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You see me I say? So the things that they died, that
For.
I should come and inherit,
Mm-hmm.
I still have to run where I go to somebody else's country now.
Go
See?
build up their
Go
country.
build up for them country. And them still are go treat me like how them still treat the Windrush people them and send them back on ya.
Mhm.
Me just show you the cycle, how we not really get deep into ourselves, you know. You see me I say?
Mhm.
I am saying it is for us to be courageous enough to challenge the infrastructure that is in place.
Mhm.
Because wherever you run to is the same infrastructure. The people who are running to England,
Mhm.
right, are the people who are running to America. I am saying the geopolitical construct set up in a way that whenever things start to affect the third world nation then migrate to what they call the first world nation. See, go there and still get what you call name below minimum wage. Me I tell you
What
because
less?
that's something I experience.
Mhm.
When them go there, what them I get is below minimum wage. But here what happen now is what they call name the devaluation of dollars and the money value.
Mhm.
See? So you go there and say, boy, I'm going to work hard because I'm going to work some US dollar, I can maybe come back 5 years from now and build a house. But when you come back and you build a house, you realize the inflation will kill me now because things start to go up and the pressure. You see, we have to study what are going on. We must study financial literacy. We must have financial literacy and we must study political science. You see, I believe political science should be taught, see, at the secondary level. But them not going to do them something there. Them not going to do them something there because if the youth them get conscious,
Mhm.
we can have some little lead, some little guy now can come just lead we and tell us some foolishness, you know.
Mhm.
And that is the challenge that we are facing in Jamaica. Some people can just come on them radio station or on them Facebook or their Instagram page and then can hypnotize people and manipulate people with some
Personality.
and personality. You know, all right. It's one thing me I notice in Jamaica right now, even with both systems, seeing everybody I try for Lego bird and I try for stir fry. Me I talk about him, the politician, them, you know. So you see, say them, but not in a nothing serious and
What you say?
conscious.
What you
again,
say,
you know.
Mara? What?
Them a try Lego bird and bird free already.
Listen to me.
You
That's what
don't
I
need
said.
for Lego on bird, you know, because the bird them done free. And you need for Lego yourself from your mental slavery.
And to Lego the people.
And Lego the people.
Because
Lego the people instead of around there talk about Lego bird.
we have a hole, we have a
So you
grasp.
see, all right, you see, all right, I'm not cut you. But you know,
I cut
me
you
get-
cut me though.
I cut me cut you, yes. But me get you just stir a thing inside of me. Just show you the thing, you know.
Mm.
To remove the revolutionary consciousness from the people. Because nobody now sing again for Lego the people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So the joke thing now is for Lego Bird. And Bird already free.
Yeah.
You not even hold him.
Stir fry.
And you forgot stir fry.
Mm-hmm.
So then fry out yourself.
Fry out your mind.
And go and bounce.
Mhm.
Bounce go where?
What you bones?
You know?
Bones.
You see me answer? So these are some, you think, you see.
No, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny, but it's real.
We really a joke out the thing, and the politician them take it because everybody trying to be popular with the foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. You know, you see Cartel come on and talk about Clarks. And the man them realize that Clarks is a thing now where they use them, so make we go down to them level. But I trick them really, I trick the people them. They're not really serious about no Clarks or anything. But when the youth them see say them prime minister or them leader wear Clarks,
Mm-hmm.
they must say, oh, I wanna with that, you know, me done that, you know, me G that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We have to talk to a pitney them.
Yeah, in a serious kind of way.
In a serious kind of way. You see me I say?
Yeah. I agree with you, Amara. I agree with you
Look,
100%.
from both sides.
Yeah.
Me I watch even something on Instagram today. I see a big woman. And when I see she do, she did a try about Lego Bird and stir fry. I mean I say, but a joke out this thing.
Mm-hmm.
After yesterday dilemma where people them where the inspirational songs and the musics, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For rise up the people. We are the poets. You know, yes, them are poets, yes. When I disrespect the artists, then we sing them songs because they are very creative.
Mm-hmm.
See, but I am saying there's a time and a place for everything.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And don't come tell me about this is what young people want here. Marcus Garvey did young.
At 20,
See?
at 20, how much? 20,
You understand?
27.
Walter Rodney did young.
Yeah,
See? Stephen Biko did young.
and died young too.
See? When Fidel Castro won the revolution in Cuba, he was young. He was fighting from, he was maybe about 22, 23. When he won the revolution, he was 32 as a leader. See? So don't come tell about the young people. Like say, the only thing we can, so if it's garbage, we young people can project what the nation are going to come to.
Mm.
If we say the young people is the future, so the future look very dark.
If that is the only thing we can use to inspire them,
If it's just gimmicks,
we can use for hold them
we
attention.
can use to hold them attention.
Mhm.
Where are we heading?
We're going down. We're heading down. We're heading down.
I don't want to say so because me know they have to go down.
We're heading down.
No, me say, me could not say that
Okay.
because when I go down, that is why me there talk now.
Okay.
Me
Okay.
could find a way to lift them up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because the solution is within us.
Mm-hmm.
But we must be courageous enough
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that, because if them go down, you know who have to take the blame?
Us.
And we,
Yeah.
because it means that we never try hard enough.
We weren't there to mentor
And we
them.
never did if we even guide them and show them, say, yo, there's a better way than this,
Mhm.
You can't make your pitney them a lead you while you they will go through it and understand it more than them for sure them say, yo, this is the way. But them a try to flip the script on the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, say, it's young people time.
Young people, time to do what?
To do what?
What have we taught our young
Within
people?
the African community, guess what? We have a group we're calling them the Black Stars Brothers.
Hold
See?
on to the Black Star
All
Brothers.
right,
Let's
soon
take a
come
break
back.
and come back. It's Cultural Mix, folks. We are in the studio of Fit FM 96.7, and the musical revolutionary Aymara is in the place, and he must spit some fire. Real lyrical fire. We're taking a break. We soon come back.
The cry of the oppressed, the cry of the downtrodden man. Brothers and sisters, we got to, yes, rise up, stand tall. Don't you bow and fall. Evil men will fight you down, even when you're back against the wall. Rise up, stand tall. Don't
don't you bow and fall. No matter what they say or do, think big, don't think small. People working so hard and yet underpaid, and to mount situation that's just first aid. Depression and stress when the bills can't be paid. Still me nah go falter, nah go fade. Got to move ahead in life no matter what it takes. The chains and the barriers, you know we gotta break. My eyes are open, and now that I'm awake, now go make you eat up the cake. Rise up, rise stand tall. Don't you bow and fall. Evil men will fight you down, even when you're back against the wall. Rise up, rise stand tall. Don't you bow and fall. No matter what they say or do, think big, don't think small. Uplift yourself from poverty and shame. No more self-pity, the victory must claim. The ancestors' blood must never go in vain. We have the power of the sun and the rain. As rebel in the street, we never go one retreat. We know the struggle bitter, we know say it no sweet. We trample corruption under we feet. Climb into the highest peak. Rise up, rise stand tall. Don't you bow and fall. Evil men will fight you down, even when you're back against the wall. Rise up, rise stand tall. Don't you bow and fall. No matter what they say. When you're running, I'm awakened. No sleep in my eyes. Focus. I sight up the heights. Awaken. No sleep in my eyes. Focus. I sight up the eyes. Early morning as I rise. Deep breathe and exercise. Feasting on the sunrise. Hold the iron reverence for my sons and wives. I'm awakened, no sleep in my eyes. Focus, I sight up the eyes. Awakened, no sleep in my eyes. Focus, I sight up the eyes. Jelly water to my heart, yes. That's the way I break my fast. Hit the street, no retreat. Must be strong, can't be weak. Chant down Babylon, we won't accept defeat. I'm awakened, no sleep in my eyes. Focus, I sight up the eyes. Awaken, no sleep in my eyes. Focus, I sight up the eyes. Stop it. Oppressive. Passive. Implementing laws and orders so them rights them surrender. With them scriptures, psychological strictures. Fools keep cool, adhere to their rules. Use like tools, burden heavy laden like a mule. For too long, battered, murdered by their weapons, insistence and sustenance, building institutions, training intellectual morons, tactics of assimilation, grooming spies to maintain their lies. I was watching you from the corner of my eyes, seeing clearly through my spiritual lens, knowing that they are not my friends. Can't be tame, can't be bend, like a lion, broke from your den, now a revolutionary in your territory, armed and dangerous, confidently knowing liberation is a must.
Oh, Imara, musical revolutionary, talking about Imara, talking about Marcus Garvey and the impact that Marcus Garvey has. No doubt, Marcus Garvey would have had an impact on you, my brother. Huh?
Oh, yeah. So, what you mean? You see it? And not just Garvey, but as me say, even the philosophy and opinion, it is compiled by late White.
Mhm.
You hear me? So, you see it. We observe it on the yin and yang level,
Mhm.
the Ma'at level,
Mhm.
level of reciprocity.
Mhm.
And Marcus knew that, and that's why you see when he formed his movement, there was the side where the women was most powerful.
Mhm.
You understand? You know? And I was just saying something pertaining to elders and youth, and I was talking about a group of people that we meet every Wednesday. We call ourselves the Black Stars Brothers. How we operate, we don't start a meeting without we get the permission of an elder. So the eldest person in the group
Mhm.
have to give permission. And that is a principle of our African community.
Mhm.
That is a spiritual way that those before have to open the gate in order for you. And in every way of life, I just saw it go. I saw it go. So how we turn it back way, that our pitney have to give permission how to move, when to move, or the younger one, based upon experience,
Mhm.
is the elders who are the doorkeeper. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, at this, so we for there. And we're looking at Jamaica and see the thing a flip that way, that some people are going to bring down serious issues like politics to observe, just to gain popularity, you know. It is nothing to do with nation building, you know. It's just to maintain political power. Marcus Garvey never function, so he never function like he want to say what him believe you want to hear. What he was uttering is the naked truth.
Yeah.
Is that what I say?
And them say the truth hurts.
But you see it. Once you start to put on clothes on the truth and the truth again, you know.
Oh, dress up truth.
Yeah, and it can't dress up, it have to naked.
The naked truth.
The naked truth.
It sound harsh, Imara. And some people would say maybe that is one of the reasons why Marcus Garvey's principles and opinions and philosophy is not going to be pushed. It's not going to be taught in schools, really, because there are those who will say he was quite harsh with some of the things that he would have been saying. Some of the things we write down in his manifesto when he was trying to put the movement together, the People's Political Party, especially when them talk about leaders who must be stoned in the public, in the public square, must be stoned to death. People will say those are some harsh consequences.
But what play the harsh consequences now? The teacher and the nurse, then we are run away. It no harsh for them.
It is. You
see what I talk about? You see, we have to look deep into the thing, you know. You ever hear them say jump out a frying pan, jump in a fire?
Mm-hmm.
You try to run from something. You have to try to run from the principle that you're supposed to live by.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But it a backfire upon you.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? See? You know, we must understand when we are dealing with a system, we must know how the system function, how it operates.
Mm-hmm.
See? And we must prepare ourselves as a people to know if this system is beneficial to us or it is a
destroying us,
or it is a detriment to us.
Yeah.
You understand? And I believe most of our people just look for them little bread and butter. You understand?
That is important, Amara.
No, but me say bread and
butter issues are important, you know.
Bread and butter issue important, but the kind of bread you get will give you cancer and high blood pressure
White bread
and sickness. So it, me not even talk about white bread. You know, me a talk about a kind of bread
Mhm.
where you did a fight for because it not even healthy.
Mhm.
So make sure so the bread and butter where you go fight for,
Yeah.
it is of benefit to you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You know, hand to mouth can't work, and we see that.
Yeah. Hand to mouth can't work.
And this is how we see with people them who gave their hard sweat and blood, who are really the backbone and the foundation and the bedrock of this country. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Have to be running.
What do you say? What do you say to the people who, when they look, they see no way out?
There's always a way out.
There is always a way out, and so the way that they have found out is to really get out.
Get out and get into where?
They have seen where they can get out of this place and get into somewhere else, and they see where life will be better for them and their family. What do you say to the people who are that them see?
All right, may I say something to you? I was talking to a sister in the pandemic. In the heat of the pandemic, she get her thing, and she said, "Boy, me a cutting a mara." I say, "All right, good luck to you, but from my experience, I'm telling you that going to New York is one of the toughest places to go and live now." And like she said to me, say, "Why you're going like say, you know, I'm going to experience it, you know, go to experience the joy." I'm say, "All right, go on full joy your joy."
Mm-hmm.
And in a couple of months later, she started calling me on a ball.
Mm-hmm.
I say, "But me did tell you, but experience is the greatest teacher, not true?"
Mm-hmm.
See?
Mm-hmm.
So I am saying this to say that even I who went away and work and see some of the condition where some of our people subject themselves to, and even frightened for even say, when the boss ride up and you say, "Boss, I never like how that thing you're feeling, I mean, I do this." People are look at me and I say, but why you got me say, but me no matter if I go home, if me no like the condition, me not go subject myself to this.
Mm-hmm.
So me just show you, say the things where people are run away from you, so them go further, go make the same set of people. I want you understand, say the same set of people were in the geopolitical spheres create that condition that when you come there, they even treat you worse. You know, just recently we see where the minister of what social security Ghana Canada can deal with some issues. You see me I say? The condition where the farm workers left Jamaica, Ghana, Canada, and work under. Me certain say if them there Jamaica and then go for one place, go chop down 2 pieces of food and put some yam and banana in it, nobody not treat them like that. But them go subject themselves in another man country if you deal with them that way there. This is what me I talk about. So I am saying, what are we running away from and what are we running into? Who are the creator of the system? We are here with some people who we grew up with. Them go school like we go school like them. They're not brighter than we. We must be courageous enough to meet them and deal with them to say, guess what? We deserve more than this, and whatever you are fearful of in the international spheres, we will stand with you and fight with you to make sure, say, we protect this piece of land, what we call in Jamaica, where ancestors fought for, and make sure, say, we are going to go down together, and we are going to stand up together.
It's either
or either. But we need that kind of courageous leadership. Wimp leadership can't take we out of this, you know, and for the past. Otherwise, I'm going to say it loud and clear. Otherwise, the last courageous leader, other than Marcus Garvey Messina Jamaica, was Michael Manley. All the others are wimps. Portia, to an extent, did I try to stand up. And the little guy them round her, fight her and push her out. These views are not the views of Fit FM. It's Aymara views. Don't get too nervous, Julia. See? It's Aymara views. Right? So, we have to look into these things. Because one of the things, you know, what they might try to take away from we know, which is our political views and our political opinion. And,
everybody must have a political opinion.
And even Marcus Garvey said that.
Yeah.
And not even Marcus Garvey said that. This is something that is an inalienable right for every human being
to have a political
to have
view,
your views and see things and express it the way how you see it and live by it too. You understand? No guy can take that from you. No guy. So I am saying, we in Jamaica today, as a people, we must retrace the journey, man. You understand? We must see where we are coming from and look on where we are heading, because this is not a jiggy or a Lego the bird or a stir fry thing. It's forward on. We are moving to victory as a people, and we must stand and take it up in this time.
But you said those who can run will run, but what about those who can't?
They will have to stay.
They will have to stay. And the people who stay are the people who want you to give the last word to. Because those who run gone, you know.
You see the people
who can't run, them have to stay.
Some of them can, but them not run.
Okay.
You see the people who courageous enough to stay. Make we meet now. Make we find a way that we can protect what is rightfully ours. Right? We can't run away, left our ancestors' legacy. Because them blood, them sweat, them tears, right, shed for us to inherit what is rightfully ours. And we must not allow some people to take it and give it to some other nation or some other people that them can come here and treat the people any and anyhow. We must get back to that self-pride. And those who have that self-pride and standing up, we salute you.
Self-pride, like the man himself, Marcus Garvey, who we say is the epitome of Black pride. Let us follow his principles as best as we can. Let us follow the opinions of Marcus Garvey. Read about the man, understand what he stood for, and to see how we can uphold some of what he spoke about, some of what he has been written about him. As Aymara said, it is Amy Jakes Garvey, the woman around Marcus Garvey, who would have allowed us to be able to be reading about what Marcus Garvey stood for in his philosophy and opinions. Let us understand that when we stand up against a system, it is showing that we know what we want and we are able to even give our life, the ultimate thing. Aymara, I want to thank you. I want to thank the persons who tuned in. So at one point, I think we got kicked off. Come and see the whole thing just collapsed earlier. I wanted to, on Facebook, yes, I wanted to hail up some persons who were joining. I saw Myrtlin. She was joining and interacting with us. Raheem Fender, I wanted to read some of his comments, but then Facebook just went blank on us. We want to thank you for joining. Anthony D, I saw that you were watching in Philadelphia. We want to thank you, my brother. Sometimes we know the work might be hard. You can't tune in all the time, but when you get the chance to tune in. Thanks everyone who tuned in. Hey, we thank you always to be supporting the program. We thank you so much. Wherever you are, wherever you are tuning in from, we want to thank you and we want to thank you wholeheartedly. Next week we come back and we want to say, be with us when we come back next week. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your Friday evening. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your Sunday. And find a way that you can impact your community in a positive way. Because we say impact positively. Try as best as you can every moment of the day, every minute of the day to impact even one person positively. And if we impact positively, Aymara, I think we're on our way to creating a better society.
And we say share the program, share Fit FM, saying tune in, YouTube, anywhere we're there, saying just go on Fit FM, Jamaica.com and make sure say log in because this is the station for revolution and liberation.
Emotion with a loving spirit. Yes. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, my friends. Take care and see you next week. All being well, God's willing. Take care. One last love.
I'm standing 10 feet tall, standing 10 feet tall, standing 10